Lynn in a few minutes, in a few moments actually. 192. The Knicks lose to the Nets. Coming up in just a few minutes when we wrap it here on the Ford Knicks post-game, the Garden transformed Year 1, Part 2, presented by Chase. Let's go inside the Knicks locker room. Here's Amari Stoudemire.
Yeah, it's a little tough. I mean, tonight was a game that we had set out to win. Darren Williams played out of his mind tonight, played phenomenal. We started off with great defense in the first quarter, and they just figured it out, and it was hard to stop from that point on.
But tonight was the turn, actually, as you mentioned, everybody was expecting that this will be a really home-court victory, right? So what do you make of this? I mean, do you think these three of you, especially with Lynn's involvement right now, need to be successfully blended in more?
Yeah, we'll definitely figure it out. I mean, it's just a matter of time. This first game back, you come out a little bit rusty, and that's to be expected. So, again, we'll definitely look at film and figure out what we did wrong and how we can get better, and work on that next game.
Look to you besides Darren's shooting, what made them overall tough to defend the three?
Yeah, well, they shot the ball well from three. We did a great job of trying to contain those guys, but they just was hot out there. So it's not really much to say. I mean, we can watch film and figure it out tomorrow, but they played great.
You guys got this run going a couple weeks ago when you beat them, and a couple days later, I think Darren had kind of said a few things about all the attention on Jeremy and everything else. Do you see a little extra edge from Darren tonight, the way he was attacking?
No doubt. He came out with an aggressive mentality. He wanted to really set the tone early. He had it going. It was one of his nights. So with a night like that, it's hard to stop those guys when Darren's playing that well. So.
How chippy was
a lot of you guys playing on the court at the same time. What do you see out there that you guys need to fix going forward?
We can't panic right now. I mean, it was a hard-fought battle. We played great the first quarter, and they just got hot on us. So there's no need to panic.
You got to.
Meanwhile, let's go right back across the street on the podium, or at the podium, in the media press room at Madison Square Garden. Jeremy Lin.
Jeremy, what went differently this time, the way they played you than the first time?
I think the coverages were about the same. I think they were quicker on their rotations, and they did a good job of that. But I think, me in particular didn't come out with the defensive energy we needed, and obviously Darren Williams going for 30 whatever he had is not going to get it done, and so I need to come out with more energy. The team needed to come out with more energy, and I think at the end of the day that's why we lost. But hats off to New Jersey for playing a great game.
Coach was just in here saying we need to get some things sorted out. He said anytime you have three new people, it's just a matter of sorting all of that out. What do you think are some of the things now that you've had a game out on the court with three new players that you guys have to work out?
I think anytime you have three new players or people coming back, your identity as a team is going to change with the personnel, and so that's what we need to figure out, what our identity is going to be. And we're not in panic mode because it doesn't just work like where people show up and then all of a sudden you have great chemistry. So we're going to have to work through some struggles, but we'll be as long as we are all committed and buying in, we'll be just fine.
Jeremy, it seems like you always beat the best team. Like yesterday, you beat the championship, but today you lost to the no good team. It's kind of weird. Can you tell us what it is? It's kind
of. It's again, I wouldn't call the Nets a no good team. But I know your point, and that's just something that we have to look at. Inside of ourselves and to be able to say, look, we need to come with the same energy, the same passion against, teams with poorer records than maybe, the defending champions or the Los Angeles Lakers or whoever it may be. So definitely a gut check.
Jeremy, I saw you just close the score report. Why?
I what? Oh, I don't know. I do this every time just because I don't really look at it while I'm talking to you guys.
Jeremy, so much discussion before the game about how you and Carmelo would fit in together. What are your thoughts about what you guys were able to do tonight?
Well, we're both, we both can make plays, and I think we need to find a good balance, and it's a little tough right now with no practice time, and then throw in J.R. Smith, throw in Baron Davis, and so there's like Coach said, there's going to be a little bit of adjustment time, things to sort out, things to talk about, find exactly our identity, where we want to go from here, and it is day one. It's day one, and so obviously we're not happy with how it went, but sometimes you need to go through these type of times to become a better team.
Okay, so Alan's craving some younger presence on the program. We go to the comments on the Twitter board. It's your show right now. Take it away.
We got some quitters on Twitter. That's the problem I have with one of you guys tonight, but we'll go with the ones on the board here. R.A. Gray, I wish Chandler was a bit smarter in that situation and not get a technical. Like I said, I think the official made a mistake there. Aloha Knicks, my boy, I can totally see why Kim Kardashian couldn't stand Humphries either.
Oh, boy.
Attaboy, Jamie.
That's one of the
34.
best ones. Jamie's hoping for a hookup, I think.
Knicks really missed Shumpert's D tonight. Darren was too much. By the way, off the Kim Kardashian tweet, I have to say Bob Glauber, who's actually Newsday's NFL columnist, said that I look like Chris Humphries.
That's not good.
I don't know if that's a compliment or what, but I'm going to avoid Tyson Chandler next time in the locker room.
You got a reality show in your future?
You know what? If it pays well.
What's
the buzz? He'd go for it.
What's the buzz?
I mean, come on. Let's be honest. Chris, I mean, is he a dumb man? I mean, he took the money and ran. Not a bad move.
What's going on here?
Like I said, we have some quitters on Twitter. I'm a little annoyed at some of you people, but that's fine. You have a good win. Somebody actually, I'm not going to name names actually, Al, because I don't think it's fair. But some people said, with the win yesterday, what good is beating the Mavs if you don't beat the Nets? It's game to game, people. A lot of people really are down on this loss, which is understandable. But, the one thing we did get a compliment on, Kelly, is our tie coordination tonight.
Yeah.
Al, did you not get the memo?
I did not get the text.
Yeah.
What's your summary of Baron Davis, the player you saw tonight, for about 9 minutes?
Baron, he's got a lot of work ahead of him. Certainly, I thought he looked pretty good, but as far as not being heavy or whatever, in good shape, but he's got a lot of work. You can tell he's not been on a basketball court in a while.
Let's find out what kind of a mission Darren Williams was on tonight. Season high, 38 points. Let's listen.
So what was your attitude coming into tonight's game?
We definitely had this one circled. I think our whole team did. I personally did, because this was stuck in my mind. This all started on me, but it was more just about playing better as a team. We had a great win the other day in Chicago, and then yesterday we just really came out and put together a bad effort, and then we just wanted to get back on the winning track.
What do you think of Linsanity when you read the headlines and see what's been going on?
I think it's an amazing story. That he was going to be cut the next day, and then come out and play the way he did against us, and then just keep it going. The way he has. Even tonight he had a great game. It's going to be overshadowed because of mine, but he's playing great basketball. So it's definitely a tremendous story.
When you're starting to shoot like that, you get a feeling. You always get that feeling. This is the night when you're really on.
Yeah. I didn't even shoot before the game. I just wanted to, get all the rest I could. I had, didn't have much legs yesterday and my shots, so I just wanted to kind of just rest, ice up before the game, and then get ready to go. And then, early on, just the shot just felt good, and my teammates told me I needed to, we call it squeeze. So I was just shooting the basketball really well tonight.
It's a good feeling with it.
Next opponent Wednesday night, the Atlanta Hawks. Kelly, to me, one night they looked like they were the real deal, and other nights I just think they're pretenders.
You got it, Al. That's pretty much in a nutshell. You look at their record; it's pretty impressive. But 1-4 in the last 5 games. We know Joe Johnson can be spectacular other nights. Not so much. Josh Smith. I thought he should have been an All-Star this year. He's got All-Star talent. He's playing very well. Jeff Teague, an interesting player as well. And don't forget a guy like Zaza Pachulia, who is one of those guys that can get under your skin as well. So Knicks have to be prepared for him.
Quick question: contender or pretender? What are they after 4 years or 5 years
they are a
now?
playoff team. They're just what they've been in the last 5 or 6 years. They may surprise you and win a one-round game, but they're not going much further than that.
So what does it in the end tell you about the Knicks playing a game like yesterday, sandwiched around 2 games that felt very, very similar?
Well, you've got to respect everybody in this league, and you've got to be able to come off of a high, particularly on national television, and get up for those lesser-known teams. That's what it's all about. good teams, great teams, teams that win championships, you talk about that, they know how to survive games like coming off a big win and then playing a team like New Jersey or anybody like that that's been struggling. You got to win those ball games, particularly on your home floor. Yeah. That's the big thing. You've got to beat teams on your home floor, establish that identity.
And they're starting to get energy on the home floor. But I think Jeremy said it, and actually Mike D'Antoni said it as well, identity out. They have to now figure out who they are. Now that they have the bodies back, what kind of team are they? What are they going to be? They have to figure that out over the next couple of weeks.
And the other thing, 9 players used tonight, 2 other players out that should figure into the rotation. How many is it going to be when they do figure it out? That is going to do it. A reminder, we'll give you more locker room content by going to MSG.com. Now, join us Wednesday night as the Knicks take on the Hawks. Our live coverage gets underway with Visa Knicks game night at 7 p.m. Coming up next on MSG, behind the scenes and part 2 of the Garden Transformed, Year 1, presented by Chase. With Kelly Tripucka and Alan Hahn, for Mike Breen, Walt Clyde Frazier, and Tina Cervasio, I'm Al Troutwig. The Nets 100, the Knicks 92. The Garden Transformed is next.